understanding the Caribbean people, our history, our story. And it is important that these sites are treated as sacred sites.
Sentiments shared by Laurent Jean-Pierre of the Archaeological and Historical Society. According to the Cabot St. Lucia website, the pristine northeastern coastline of the island will set the stage for its lavish golf course. It reads, quote, "With 1.5 miles of coastline at their disposal, Bill Corr and Ben Crenshaw have made this their site of choice for their first Caribbean golf course." End quote.
Most of our archaeological sites are found on the coastline, 40 of them. So it is important that we tread softly on the coastline. Hence the reason the coastline, the Queen's Chain, is of such importance in terms of Caribbean archaeology. And resorts or hotels by the beach are threatening Caribbean archaeology. That's written, that's documented by the authorities of archaeology from Leiden University.
Researchers from Leiden University visited St. Lucia in 2009 for the rescue mission to save the Amerindian burial site at Kazamba. An unearthing Jean-Pierre considers an important site that is merely the tip of the iceberg.
We found a very, very important burial site where there were two persons buried together. And that's another conversation as to what was taking place there. So there are several conversations based on what we found beneath the ground. Having said all of that, that burial ground is not the entire archaeological site. And we need to make that clear. It goes much further and deeper than that. For example, going west from the burial site on the coastline, there are several other Amerindian sites in there within that same compound. So it was an extended community. In fact, the archaeologists have acknowledged that it was a community and the burial site was part of that community. So you cannot separate the burial site from the community. And therein lies, beneath the ground, at Kasaba, going west and going north, important undiscovered treasures and history notes.
Jean-Pierre laments the island's current standing in the area of museums to house treasured artifacts. The onus, he says, falls on the government to develop such an entity.
We as a people need to ponder anew what direction our so-called development is taking place. It is too haphazard all over the place, and in the process, we are destroying ourselves. My grandmother used to say, "Même si ou fait et ou passa tout bonnement." Even if you are hungry and you are poor, you cannot be anyhow. You have to have dignity. You have to have principle. You cannot sacrifice your principles for your privileges. When you do that, you tend to lose both. And that's what we are losing.
The archaeologist urges the public to not stand idly by, in his view, as the island's rich history and patrimony are sold to the highest bidder. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.